PLD Projects presents Holy Snokes, a Star Wars podcast featuring PLD and Matty Gunner. May the Force be with you, always. What's up, everybody, and welcome back to yet another episode of Holy Snokes, a Star Wars podcast here on the PLD Projects Network. I am your host, PLD, and with me, as always, my hetero life mate, the man who's going to Japan. He's got a plan. He's going to meet Stan. He's on the lam. Maybe not. I don't know. I'm just rattling out. But this is Matty Gunner. How you doing, my friend?
Which Stan am I meeting? Because the only Stan that I would want to meet is unfortunately no longer on this mortal plane, other than maybe the Tooch. But I don't think Stanley Tucci is confirmed as a guest.
Not yet. You never know. He's coming back for maybe. He would be a great. If Jeremy Allen White can play a Hutt, I think Stanley Tucci would be a great Hutt.
Would it not be there to have him as Senator Tucci?
Oh, I like where your head's at there. That works. You know what Tucci would have done good at? The character in Book of Boba Fett, the major domo of the mayor, the apologies guy.
Oh yeah, that guy. Yeah.
Made that really fun. That could have been really fun for him. So yeah, there it is. Stanley Tucci confirmed, and they're recasting him as, I don't know where I'm getting this from.
Is that a new segment? Who would Stanley Tucci play?
Stanley Tucci play. Take it from Class Action. We're gonna switch out hairstyle for Stanley Tucci. That's fine. I like that. I'm a big fan of the Tooch. Big fan of the Tooch. It is coming up though. The celebration is coming up. Are you excited?
I am. I gotta be honest. Speaking to the likes of our good friend Auden Diaz, Scotty Jarrow, who has a panel. Anyone who's going to celebration that is watching us Friday 3 p.m. Midichlorian panel with the great Scotty Jarrow Bombad Cast. I will be there. That's literally the only panel that I definitely am going to be at, because didn't get squat. Nothing in the panel reservations. Absolutely nothing. I posted the gif of how I'm gonna be like Bender in the second episode of Futurama, where they go to the theme park and the moon and they kick him out. And I'm just gonna be like, fine, I'll make my own celebration with blackjack and hookers. Matter of fact, forget the celebration.
That sounds about right. If you did get into the panels, that actually sounds about right. I'm sorry for you. I mean, I do feel bad for you. I mean, it's like, I would be annoyed. Like, I mean, I know I'm more of a panel guy than you are. You like to party. I'm a panel guy. I like to party also. It's not, no shade there, but like, I would be disappointed if I was going all the way to Japan and I didn't get into one of the big panels. That'd be kind of. That's the thing.
Like, I feel like you would be going more 95% for celebration. And to people that are going like solely for celebration, right, I feel for those people.
Right.
But at the same time, I'm like, I'm going to be in Japan with a whole bunch of friends that I don't get to see a whole lot. Some of them that I haven't seen since the last celebration.
Right.
So it's going to be like, okay, I might not get into the Ahsoka panel, but I'm going to be early to go watch my friend's panel 2 hours later. Like, I'm definitely, if I got into the Ahsoka panel, I might not have been able to go to Scotty Jarrow's panel because it might have overrun. So, like, I get to, go do other things and go to these other, like, smaller, cooler panels. Like, I'm going to go watch the Dad Batch, and I'm gutted I'm not going to see the Kurosawa one on the Sunday. That's the one where I'm like, shit.
Oh, you're not going to be able to do it. I didn't realize that.
That's I'm not going on the Sunday.
Oh, that's right.
But it does work out for me.
Okay.
The Friday, this works out perfectly that I didn't get into Mandalorian and Grogu, because now I get to go to the Hideo Kojima and Nicholas Winding Refn exhibit.
There you go.
Which they are both going to be at.
Nice. So you will see them. Okay.
Fingers crossed I'm there at the same time, because I'm going literally as it opens up in the morning on the opening day. So not only to meet Hideo Kojima,
right.
but Nicholas Winding Refn as well.
That's
the director of Drive.
Yep.
That's
a great duo. Great duo for you, my friend. Absolutely. How many celebrations have you been to?
Two.
Okay.
Anaheim and London.
All right. I have been to the one in Orlando in 2017, which feels like a lifetime ago. So I agree with you. I would probably, it's not that I'd be 95% celebration, but I'd at least be like 50-50. And so like, I just feel like I would love to hang out with these people too. Like people I haven't seen. I actually never been to a celebration. When I went to celebration in 2017, I didn't know anybody. I went down with a friend who wasn't like, he went with me because he wanted to go to Orlando. He wasn't a Star Wars guy, so he just went to Orlando and he kind of poked his head in. He didn't like Star Wars enough that we can go. He'll go to the floor, but he was out for other things. So basically, I went by myself. I didn't know anybody there at all. This is pre like the Schmodown days. I mean, I saw the Schmodown there that day, the Star Wars Championship, or whatever. That's where I saw the great Ken Knapsack in person for the first time. But he had no idea. No one had any idea who I was there. So really, that's what the panels on the floor were all I had. I didn't really have any, like, I didn't have a chance to like go hang out with anybody. So I don't know that lifestyle really. I assume it's similar to like what when again talking about the Schmodown, we did Schmodown live events. I'm assuming it's probably pretty similar to that. I would think, generally speaking, as far as like.
I mean, I only got to go to the one Schmodown live event, and it got a little nutty. Afterward, I would say. But this is like 3 days straight of that.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
And like there's more alcohol involved because we're not just like drinking in the evening after the show. We're like drinking all day.
Right.
All day.
That's fair enough. So I would like I would definitely probably go there. I'd be gutted that I didn't get some of the big panels, but I probably end up having a blast anyway. But
yeah.
Although at the same time going to Japan and spending the kind of money for that kind of celebration for that, I can see people would be disappointed about, to be honest with
you. That's why I'm fortunate I booked when I did, because I did it when it was cheap.
Right.
I booked it when it, like, a friend of mine has spent £2,800 on the flights alone.
Right. Yeah. That's why as soon as I hit Japan, I was like, yeah, it's not gonna happen for me this year. I'll be back when it comes back to the States.
Mine were like 950, and then I booked the hotels like a year, and I think a lot of people did this before Repop. Which, by the way, as soon as Celebration is out of Repop's hands, will be the better, because this is just the way they're running it is ridiculous. Like this lottery system for panels, right? Let's take this as an example. How is it that there are people that get into 0 panels, even on the streaming stages,
right?
But there are people that get into all 3.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
The Celebration stage. I think you should be limited to 1 panel on the Celebration stage, and 1 panel on either of the streaming stages. Agreed. So let's take Mandalorian, for example. I'm not too fussed about being there in the room for Mandalorian and Grogu.
Right.
I would go to one of the streaming stages. Same with Ahsoka. I would be like, I'll take one of the streaming stages. That's fine. Andor, I want to be in the room.
Yeah.
Especially because I know a bunch of people are going to be doing the Narkina 5 Prisoner run.
Of course.
Again this year.
Of course.
And I really hope they end up on stage again. Because they did last time, and like they ended up on stage. But yeah, and like the hotels are near what's it? Disney. They're near the Disney park.
Right.
That's like 30-45 minutes away from the fucking convention center. I get it's because it's Lucasfilm and it's Disney. That's probably the best place that they could get hold of a hotel block.
Right.
But at the same time, like I booked my hotel the day that I knew, because hotels normally pop up a year in advance. If you go on any booking website, it's normally like a year in advance is the maximum you're allowed to book per hotel.
Right.
So as soon as that weekend came up, I had it in my calendar. I was like, cool, book the hotel, done.
Right.
And it was like, I think mine was like £120 a day for a suite.
Not bad. That's not bad at all.
And like you look at it now, and it's like upwards of $1,000.
Right. Oh, Jesus Christ.
And Japan ain't cheap.
No.
Japan is not cheap.
No, absolutely.
So I do feel for people that haven't got into these panels, and
Right.
the people that do feel like they're going to be missing out. But let me tell you, someone who's been to a couple now, there's always stuff to do. There's always cool people to talk to.
Yeah.
Like, go and make friends. Go to a random booth that's got toys from the 1980s that you've probably never seen before.
Yeah.
Like, I now have a toy of Lobot with a laptop because I bought two. I bought one for myself and I bought one as a gift for Joseph Scrimshaw.
Nice. Very
And then
nice.
just some random guy had them on a stool, and I was walking around drinking floor beers as you do with Ken and Joseph. And Joseph pointed them out to me, and I was like, "Huh, yeah, I'm gonna get that." And
Nice.
I'm gonna get him one too.
Nice. Very nice. Yeah, you know, that's the best part about a celebration from what I've heard, and that's the one thing I did miss. Like I said, I miss, like, I mean, even though I didn't have anybody to hang out with, and I wasn't forward enough to make friends at that point. I was just kind of like in awe of the whole thing anyway. Like I just
I'd have
didn't
hung
think
out
about
with
making
you.
a friend. Oh, you totally would have. I didn't even like realize it because I was just kind of like, I wasn't looking to make friends. I just was so in awe of everything, and like I spent like 3 days on the floor anyway. Just even the floor itself, I just would walk the floor and
Yeah,
always finding new stuff, and always finding new things to do.
it's
This is
gotten a
great.
lot more. I will say the floor has gotten a lot scarcer now. If you look at the kind of stores and everything that are there this year, it's a lot of like, why is Dickies? What are Dickies doing with a booth?
Yeah,
Like,
it's weird.
why have Rolex got a booth at Star
Yeah,
Wars Celebration? That's
that's not cool. I prefer when it's much more like, for example, like the artwork on my wall behind me there, and I don't see that's all celebrate. That's stuff I got from Celebration. I
the
just look at
artist
the art.
alley in London was tiny.
Oh wow, that's sad. I mean, London I heard was pretty small in general. The place was pretty
Oh,
small.
brother, I've worked security at the XL Center. They cornered off about 3/4 of it
Right.
for nothing. It was just empty space.
That's
And
awful.
I'm in a group chat with people that also work there and have worked there.
Right.
And we were all talking like, why is it like this? This is
Right.
okay.
You have the building, you have the space to use it.
Yeah, and this place looks huge.
Good.
The Macahari Messi looks absolutely massive. So hopefully
they learned maybe from it potentially. But
don't try funneling everyone through one door like you did in London.
Jesus, yeah, that's a recipe for disaster.
As I said, the sooner Repop are done with it, which I think is this year.
This is the last one, maybe?
I think so. I hope so.
I've heard that before too, though. So I don't know. I heard that was supposed to be the last one last time, but I don't know. Maybe it's not.
If they renewed the contract with Repop, just like, may the force fucking be with us all.
But you know what? We shouldn't talk too much more about Celebration because we're gonna actually have a full-on Celebration preview episode coming up. So we should like save our bits and pieces for that. Got a couple of cool things coming up. We'll talk about our schedule for the next couple of weeks. We are doing, obviously, today is our finishing off the Andor season 1 rewatch. The last 3 episodes we have gotten to. Of course, news and bits are always going to happen. We decided kind of last minute, or as in like 5 minutes ago, what we were going to do. We had this plan in place where we're going to do, obviously, Celebration is happening. Right after Celebration is Andor season 2. So that was going to take up our next 4 episodes, or the 4 blocks of 3 of Andor season 2. We were going to go right into do a Rogue One rewatch and right into an episode 4 rewatch to do kind of the trilogy. But Maddie had a great idea, I think, and I kind of like it. Some people, your minds may vary, but you know, Diego Luna and Tony Gilroy, they've all basically have said that Andor season 2 is going to change how we look at Rogue One potentially. So what if we decided to watch Rogue One next week for next week's show? We'll pre-watch for Rogue One, and then we will, at that point, see it, review it, and then go into Andor and see how it changes our minds. And then after Andor season 2, we're going to rewatch Rogue One again with that in mind. And we won't obviously do as full of review the second time, but it'll be more like a did anything change, that kind of thing. How are we looking at it differently? How does it hit us differently now? From basically before and after. I think it's kind of a cool thing to do. And we still go on to episode 4 after that. We might as well complete the trilogy at that point. But yeah, so I think that's what we're going to do. We're going to do rewatch of Rogue One for next week's show. We have another week in between after that. That will be our Celebration preview. on the 10th, I believe it is. And then the 17th is the day before Celebration begins, and Maddie's going to be in Japan. So I will probably run I might get a guest host, or I might just do a kind of a quick solo news bit week. No major.
Because I'm going to be 13
news.
hours ahead of you. I'm
Right.
5 hours ahead of you now. I'm going to be another
hours.
8 ahead of you running in Japan. It's
not going to work. Not going to work.
Sorry to all the Matty Gunner fans out there, but it's not going to be possible.
Not going to be possible, and that's fine. I can just do a quick solo news bit. And I'll probably I might end up doing is during the weekend. I might just have a couple of sporadic, quick Holy Snoke live solo shows just to kind of like do Celebration as it happens, kind of thing. Maybe we'll have to see how that goes. Depends on my schedule. And then when Maddie comes back, obviously we'll have a Celebration review and Andor seasons 2 pop.
Yeah, that's one we're gonna be like,
that first week's gonna be a tough one to do. We might have to do 2 episodes that week potentially. We have to look into that. Maybe do 2 instead of trying to do it all in one. Maybe we will do an Andor season 2 one first.
We're gonna be there for like 3 hours.
Yeah, so we'll have to see. We'll have to see how that goes. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out though for sure. So that is the next batch of stuff we're gonna talk about. It's our next schedule update.
It's not a bad batch.
Not a bad batch at all. Not a bad batch at all, as it is. We got some news and bits and pieces to talk about today before we go and finish our Andor rewatch of season 1. Like I said, most of them are comic book oriented. Actually, the big news dropped. We did have the Andor season 2, the latest trailer. Hopefully the final trailer. Now I think it's the final trailer by now.
Jesus, I hope it is.
I mean, there'll be TV spots, I'm sure, but I don't cover them. Of course, on this show, Maddie is one who's loath to watch any trailers at all. He usually watches the first trailer. That's usually about it for him.
Yeah, that's yeah. I'm not a good. I'm sorry, I'm not as good of a podcast host as PLD is. I like to make, and here's the reason: I watched Acolyte completely blind, and I loved it more than most people did.
Right.
So I'm trying to like maintain that. Like I want to like keep some level of, because we know how Cassian's story ends. We know where this is all coming to. So as much like I can keep in the dark, I try to.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, I mean, absolutely. I think that's I understand and I empathize with that. I always struggle with a little bit with this. Like as a Star Wars show, I want to cover all the news, and it's hard to cover the news and not cover such a big piece of news. So I always watch it anyway. So I'm going to try to break down the trailer with Solo. Matt'll be here, and he'll discuss a little bit. He's not seeing it, so it's kind of like okay. And I'm going to avoid nothing too spoilery, so I'll do my best to kind of carefully talk about it.
I do have one piece of news that's just popped up on my screen in front of me, which I'll save to the end, but it's pretty fucking huge.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm surprised. I'll have to see what it is. Maybe you should text me that link so I can look at it at some point. But yeah, but we'll go into the first bits of news first. I'll get the ones out of the way. The one I want to talk about first, we'll talk about the comic book news. A couple of cool comic book news. June 2025 was announced. Specifically, I wanted to mention Dr. Aphra Chaos Agent. That is a new Dr. Aphra book. I'm actually happy that this is going to happen. Dr. Aphra has probably been one of the greatest comic book specific characters that we've seen in especially the Disney era. She's become kind of quite a solo star. I mean, I think a lot of people would love to see a Dr. Aphra appearance in animation or in live action.
Oh God, yes.
A darker Indiana Jones version, like a more chaotic, neutral Indiana Jones. She's worked for Darth Vader. She's worked on the side of the rebellion. Sometimes it depends on what's going on.
She's worked for Vader. Vader's tried to kill her.
She's got some assassin droids she worked with. It's a lot of cool stuff. But either way, I think that it's just good news that we're going to get more from her post Return of the Jedi era at this point. And that's going to be a lot of fun because I know a lot of people have loved that character. And specifically set during a New Republic era, she's going to team up with Luke Skywalker to hunt down a rare artifact. And there's also something going on with her electro tattoos, and they're not working. So I don't know. It's going to be kind of cool to think to see what's going to happen with that. And I'm really glad we're moving into this post Return of the Jedi era because the comic book, we haven't explored anything like literature-wise. I mean, a little bit here and there. Obviously, we had a few comic books here. Kylo Ren had a comic book, a little bit brief one. We had the Poe Dameron one at one point. But I feel like this has been an underutilized section of the galaxy of the timeline. I know, yes, obviously we have the Mandalorian TV show and get that, but this is like more specifically, we don't have a lot from like the Rebellion stuff. So we're getting Luke Skywalker stories post Return of the Jedi, and that's
you get
fun.
Battlefront 2 as well, because that's
Yep.
when you see like Operation Cinder and
Yep. But getting hopefully her to cross over with Luke and everything else should be good luck. We're getting to see what some of our bigger, well-known characters are doing during this time frame, which is cool. I do want to read one quote from the writer. Let's see, her name was Cherish Chen. And Art Gabriel Guzman says, in my humble opinion, there isn't a more fun character to be writing in the Star Wars galaxy than the one and only Dr. Aphra. Cooking up new adventures for her in this new era, throwing her into increasingly tricky moral quandaries and testing her resolve alongside some familiar faces has truly been like playing in the ultimate sandbox. Our favorite Chaos agent is back, and I cannot wait to share what we've been working on and for all of you to see Gabriel's incredibly dynamic art. Mark Panica, senior editor at Marvel, also went on to say, Afro fans are going to love this unexpected new status quo, one that even our brilliant doctor will struggle to navigate. Her patience will be tested, her wits will be challenged, and say it isn't so, her ego will get bruised. Who could outsmart the galaxy's greatest grifter? Cherish will drop clues, see if you can solve the mystery. So that sounds like fun. That just sounds like the kind of thing I like. It's a fun adventure, might have some good connectivity, but not necessarily be like a main storyline. It's that kind of like best of both worlds kind of situation, I think.
yeah, she's gone from working with one Skywalker to another.
There you go. There you go. Nice. All right. Other Star Wars stuff coming up. June 2025 is kind of a big Star Wars comic book stories coming on. We got Hyperspace Stories, Codebreaker number 2, a Poe Dameron and BB-8 discovering a First Order base where the enemy keeps their fabled Codebreaker, uses crack secret resistance messages. So we got Poe Dameron and BB-8 story. First Order, give it to me. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
Jedi Knights number 4, Phaedra from the Han Solo and Chewbacca run has stolen thousands of credits from Jabba the Hutt. Now Aura Singh, Zam Wessel, and Bane Millar and the entire galaxy is after her, and includes Jedi Knights Qui-Gon Jinn and Shak Ti. Also guest stars Jango Fett. This is a whole plethora of stuff going on character-wise.
That sounds cool.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. I like the Jedi Knights run. I think it's got a lot of potential to just be that kind of anthology series where we can see anybody at any time. And
that's so many cameos. You would think that Marvel would start putting out chairs with the names of them on the back.
I like what you did there. I will confirm, by the way, Maddie Gunner playing Mephisto in.
Yes. I am confirmed, exclusive by Alden Diaz. I am playing Mephisto.
You didn't even tell me. Actually, you did. I just had to keep my eyes. You had a red dart.
There's a reason why my camera is where it is. It's because Marvel has a red dot just above where you can see at all times.
All right, continuing on, I got the Bad Batch Ghost Agents number 4. I've only got to read the first issue. I don't believe the second issue is out yet. The first issue was fun, though. It seems like a great, maybe not essential, but fun Bad Batch tale back when the boys were together pre-Omega. Or Singh's involved, and I guess Asajj Ventress is also
involved.
Is that out, the first issue? The first issue is out. Yes, the first issue is out. I did read that. I like that. Yes, I can't wait for that to come about again. I hope it's going to go well.
Hurry up with it so I can read the trade.
There you go. Good call. And finally, the big Star Wars number 2, not finally, but Star Wars number 2 comes out again. Finally getting into that post Return of the Jedi era. Luke Skywalker there in that one as well. Let's see what else we got. The Rise of Skywalker adaptation comes out. I'm not big on the adaptations too much. I feel like the adaptations, I'll say it out there, I try not to be negative, but I found like the TV adaptations where Marvel tends to kind of go on the cheap. Like the artwork just hasn't been that very good on the adaptations. They kind of very like hand pencil scratch stuff that like doesn't look anything like the characters really. And
you would think like, I know it's an adaptation, but you look at like the novelizations. The novelizations at least give us the same story that we've seen on screen, but they also add like little bits to it.
Yeah.
I would probably be more into the adaptations if they did stuff like that.
And I will say I haven't really read them, so I can't comment too much, but I have seen like preview pages. That's why I can comment on the art I've seen. I've never been too stoked to pick it up. So I mean, eventually probably will read it when it comes like onto like Unlimited or something. I might check it out at some point. So I have the Marvel Unlimited, and that at least makes it easier, but we'll see. Of course, Legacy of Vader number 5 comes out there, and the title is Target Naboo. Kylo Ren and the First Order begin the assault on Naboo, and what lesson has Kylo learned there from Darth Vader's past? This series, to me, is exciting. I love just the idea of this series, getting to have Kylo Ren revisit like Darth Vader's greatest hits, as it were, like not greatest hits, but greatest misses too. I guess you could say, but get to him learn all that connectivity that we already know. I think that's kind of a cool way to bring about some exposition and like character building for Kylo while still getting some exciting Vader.
There's a lot of Kylo Ren love going on in a minute. I found out my friend Sky's from the band that she sings for, the band Cartographer. She named her cat. She has a female cat that she named Kyla after Kylo Ren. And I sent her a message literally today because I didn't know her cat's name. Here's my cat Kyla. I was like, "Did you name your cat after Kylo Ren?" And she said yes. I was just like, so there is more love for the sequel characters out there than people like to let on. I feel.
I get that. Totally get that. Finally, the biggest news I have to say is the High Republic is ending in June. And that includes the comic book run. We got a couple different things coming on. We have High Republic. Let's see. High Republic, Fear of the Jedi #5. Talks about the end of the war coming, a battle for Area Dadu, and the fate of the Republic hanging in the balance. Keeve Trennis is involved. And then finally, the High Republic Adventures #20 is an epic conclusion. Now the battle is over, what's next for the young heroes? And the climactic battle between the Jedi and the Nihil that has been years in the making. It's all coming to a head. We got the book. We got the books. It's pretty out there. But I'm excited about the end of the High Republic. I'm now into Eye of Darkness. I've just begun phase 3, so I'm hoping to be mostly caught up by the time June rolls around. I don't know, the way I read quickly, but I read so much that I have to go back and forth, so it sometimes slows me down. But I'm hoping that I can get at least pretty close by the time June rolls around, so that either June or thereafter I'll be able to quickly go for it. So I'm excited. I'm excited about it for sure. Are you excited about the end of the High Republic?
No, I want more. Damn, hell no. Until I get my Geode Rock Opera, I am not going to be happy that this is ending. When I get the Geode Rock Opera, then I can be like, okay, cool, we can close the door on the High Republic. I'm good.
Well, let's be honest. We have the this is the end of the High Republic multimedia initiative. That means it's the end of the characters.
It's not multimedia, really, if all we're getting is books and comics. It's not really multimedia. Till I get my rock opera, which me and Molly Damon have ideas for. Lucasfilm, pick up the phone. We can make this happen.
Well, what I'm saying is I think it's more the end of the end of this particular story, the whole Jedi Nihil Market Road thing. I think we could get a Geode Rock Opera. I think we could do a lot of things like
we could do if Lucasfilm calls me.
Yeah, they should. They should definitely call you.
Cast Rami Malek as Leox.
I'm all over that. I'm all over that. All right, let's move on then to our
real quick before we go on to that.
Okay.
Yodi, where do you source your news from?
I source my news from Star Wars News and Net. Great place that has all sorts of news. They are usually good at cutting away the chaff and making the legacy, or letting you know what's true, what's rumor, what's all that kind of good stuff.
Speaking of what's rumor, I'm going to go into what's just hit the Discord in front of me.
Okay.
A Reddit post. Call this as you will. It could be a rumor, but the screenshot I have just seen from a Reddit post, we are getting mouse droids in Shop Disney.
Oh.
From a screenshot that apparently was very quickly deleted. So apparently it was put on the website and then immediately taken down.
Really?
I'm buying every one of them motherfuckers. I am buying every mouse droid, and I am putting a Roomba. If they don't move, I am putting a Roomba inside every single one of them.
Fair enough. I get it. That is good news. I like that. For sure.
Would you not want a mouse droid?
Who wouldn't want a mouse droid? Who wouldn't want a mouse droid? I totally would want a mouse droid. It depends on how much money it's going to cost.
Kick it around when instead of getting pissed off at the cat, you can kick the mouse droid.
You're bad. Just so you know, you're bad. You're very bad. You're evil, in fact. Would you kick B2 Emo?
No, but I'd kick them. Everyone else seems to kick the mouse droids.
That's fair. That's fair.
Din kicks the mouse droid. Omega kicks the mouse droid.
That's true. That's true.
Who doesn't kick them out? Like, they're there to be
Chewbacca
kicked.
only yells at it, though. Chewbacca only screams at it. So
okay, maybe instead of yelling at the cat, you yell at the mouse droid.
Okay.
That's
fair.
I'm not saying that PLD kicks his cat, by the way. That's not what I'm saying.
Let's not get that out there. That's not
that is not true. I'm just saying.
You are insane. All right. Let's move on then to a couple other pieces of news. One just dropped actually today. I didn't have it in my mix, but I looked at Star Wars News Net as you mentioned that. There's a new mixed reality pod racing game to be revealed at Star Wars Celebration. It's called Beyond Victory, a mixed reality playset.
Okay, yeah.
It's going to be an ILM exclusively for the MetaQuest 3 and 3S virtual reality. It's going to follow Sebulba from the Phantom Menace and a brand new character of Bolo Ballas, an electrifying story and a variety of unique modes for the player to enjoy, set around the time of Solo, a Star Wars story. So this is older, grizzled Sebulba, I guess, at this point.
This is Bulba's retirement tour.
He's
on his Michael Schumacher retirement run.
It looks like there's also going to be a comic book, also about at least at Celebration. It's an exclusive Marvel comic set before the events of the game as a kind of a precursor. So it's kind of cool. Do you have any interest in the VR games? I know some people really like them, some people don't.
I don't like 3D movies. I don't like VR games. It's like, I know that their whole like thing is like immersion, but for some reason, just like having that headset on still makes me feel like kind of a goof.
Right. I get that.
Like I've done them, and I've done the ones where like you walk across the beam over the building, and I'm just like, I know this isn't real. I don't know. It's just like they've never quite clicked with me. I am interested in the real-time strategy game that they're introducing at Celebration because I'm a huge Command and Conquer fan. That is actually the game that I play on long-haul flights. Is I'll have a game of Command and Conquer up, which is where you build the buildings, you deploy the troop units, build the tanks and everything, and try to beat the other army.
Right.
So to have one of those set in Star Wars would be cool.
Yeah, it'd be kind of cool. I only used VR once or twice, and like I like the idea of it. I just don't have like.
Olaf loves the VR, didn't he?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. There's some people who really do love it. So good for them, though. And this is good for them as well. So hey, what can you say?
Just sit down with a controller in your hand. It's
you're sounding like the old man now. You're sounding a grizzled old man.
I'm getting it. I started noticing grays in this beard the other day. So
you're officially a gray beard. Okay, fair enough. All right, another little bit of news here. We got specifically from Instagram. The actor Eman Esfandi, who obviously better known as Ezra Bridger, the live-action Ezra Bridger, quietly revealed that Ahsoka Season 2 has officially entered into production. The actor reposted a now-expired story on his personal Instagram account where he could be seen opening a celebratory bottle of champagne. The caption reads, "Congrats on launching your podcast and kicking off Ahsoka Season 2. So there we go.
Oh, is that from Vanessa Marshall?
I know. I'm assuming that's what it is potentially.
Yeah. Because
I didn't get to see it. I'm reading what other people have reported on it at this point.
My good close personal friend Vanessa Marshall. Yeah,
I do want to go back and read that and watch and take that podcast in. That'd be kind of cool to hear them wax poetic about Rebels because Rebels is a phenomenal show, man. It's such a fun piece of Star Wars content.
She talks about it a lot on her streams.
Yeah, why wouldn't she? So.
It's cool to see her like actually doing this. I think more there needs to be like actual like official Star Wars after shows. I feel because when I used to watch The Walking Dead, I loved The Talking Dead.
Yeah, I get that. I told that.
That was a cool show.
After shows became kind of a big, quick thing, and then they kind of quickly also like left just as quickly. I don't know if the talent just didn't want to do it, but like it just seemed like it was a great resource for fans, great resource to expand out like the love for it. I mean, I think it's a win. I think it's an absolute win having those things. But what do I know? I mean, I'm sitting here on YouTube, getting 50 to 100 views. So what do I know? But yeah, I might check it out at some point soon if I can get a room in my podcast listening schedule. And I'm not watching something for the podcast or recording my own podcast or producing a podcast, and or having a wife and kids and a real family and a real other job, a full-time kid.
And being a man of 1,000 streams.
That's right, absolutely. But yeah, all right, last bit of news, we'll talk about that. I'm going to talk about it. Matt's going to basically just sit there, listen. At this point is the Andor season 2, the final trailer, or hopefully final trailer, which I don't disagree with you about the trailer idea. I think a teaser, a trailer, and that should be good. Yeah. I don't necessarily mind one final trailer as long as it's not like too much. I don't like, they have basically crapped out on like revealing too much with some of these third trailers. Not gonna lie. I get that. I don't watch the TV spots anymore. I've gone to that side for you. I just like, it's not even worth it anyway, generally speaking, for one or two little bits of things. So I don't know.
Because I remember like Andor season 1, they put out a lot of TV spots, and it kind of blew it for me. And like Daredevil Born Again, which by the way I love. That's like my favorite show on TV right now. A lot of these TV spots they're putting up, I'm like, just stop, like no more. Like I don't want to see the shot of. Are you up to date with it?
Yes.
Spoiler alert. I don't want a TV spot of Kingpin beating the shit out of the guy that Vanessa slept with.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. I get that. Totally get that. And I didn't see that, by the way. So.
I saw it and I was just like, great. Now I know that Kingpin's going to go back to his own ways. Cool. Thanks for fucking ruining that for me.
That's fair. And I wouldn't do that. Yeah, absolutely. So hopefully that doesn't happen here. I don't think anything happened in this trailer that is of that level, just so you know. I don't think anything like that. I'll talk about it real quick.
Yeah,
basically
don't like cut it down to the point where you're barely talking about it. Just like if there's anything like that could be big.
Yeah, I think that there was nothing revealed. I don't think there's anything really revealed that we did. There's only one minor tidbit that might have. It's something we kind of predicted that might not even happen still. It's kind of like a elusive possibility. So, but I'll get into it. I'll just get into it real quick. Basically, always up similarly to the other trailers. That's Cassian walking down the hallway and everything has got his satchels on his look. He starts having a little conversation about his. Like what he did, I came with you to be a part of something. He's a little frustrated, right? That's what it feels like. We get to see him, of course, in his Imperial test pilot uniform thing that he had going on, cool. Talking about saying the Empire can't win. We heard that in the previous trailer. We got to see Saw a little bit more, and definitely had a shot of him. It almost looked like the opposite of the Rogue One shot, where like you saw him like from the hole in the wall. Looked like it was the other way around. He was like seeing him from the back. You see a Star Destroyer out and back there. So I don't know if it's on Jeddah or if it's on a different planet. It's hard to tell. But it kind of looked like
we're getting Baze and Shirt. If we're going to Jeddah, we're getting Baze and Shirt.
I think we do got to go to Jeddah eventually. That makes sense. Like for the final arc, that's where he would be. If that's what know what I mean, that he gets there. That's where he ends up for Rogue One, and we are supposed to go right into Rogue One. So let's see what else we got here. So we had a lot of raw. He said something about revolution. He said, quote from him was, "Revolution is not for the sane, and that's you're right here and you're ready to fight," which is that part of that line we had heard from the previous thing. It seems like we're gonna fight. I will see the moment where Saw and Mon Mothma, his group, have their kind of start to divide. I kind of feel like they're going to be. I think the rebellion's going to kind of like explode and then come back together. Mon Mothma's side's going to come back together. That's my thought process. We also see Cinta and some other rebels there, and Partisans are on the same planet as Cinta. So this is the thing that might be spoilery. It almost looked to me like Cinta might be with the Partisans at some point. I could see that.
That leads into my theory of she killed that wife and kid.
I don't disagree at this point. I'm all in. I think it is. I mean, it's not for sure, but it does make sense. It definitely makes sense to me. Luthen has some cool moments, some cool one bit of dialogue I really liked from the trailer. It's a different kind of mission. He looks like he's talking to Cassian, and Cassian asks him, "What if it goes up what if it goes up in flames?" And he has this great response. It just says that it will burn brightly. I'm like, oh.
Yeah, Cassian's starting the Gorman massacre.
That's where I was going to go with it.
I think that's going to be where we differ watching Rogue One, because we're going to be like, Cassian, you piece of shit.
Yes, possibly. I think it's cool. I think it's definitely on Luthen's order. I think Luthen's the one.
Motherfucker.
I think Luthen starts the Gorman massacre. I think Luthen finds out it's going to happen. I think I don't know that he starts it. This is my prediction from it. Luthen or Cassian find out that it's going to happen. Luthen or Cassian could have prevented it, and Luthen does not prevent it, because, like what he said in our recent Andor 1 rewatch, he said these things need to happen. We need to have them defeat us. They need to have the atrocities happen so that people will wake up. So in his mind, let them get massacred, because that will wake up some people. And so I think that's what's going to happen. I don't think Cassian's going to necessarily be the one to start it, but Luthen and Cassian will have been able to prevent it, and then they won't. And that's going to prevent. And that's going to be the Luthen Mothma split, and the Cassian and Bix.
Something about them talking about it burning means like they have to start the fire. They're going to be the ones that. And maybe Cassian can't go through with it, so Luthen gets involved.
Right. Yeah.
And Luthen's like, fine, if you want to pussy out of it, I'll fucking do it myself.
Maybe. It could be that.
And then Luthen ends up dead in a ditch.
Oh, Luthen's definitely dead. No doubt Luthen's dead. He's got to be.
He's going to die, and it's going to be the most unsatisfying death ever, because he wants to go out in a blaze of glory, but he's just going to end up like dead in a ditch, and no one remembers his name. No one's going to give a shit, and that's why no one will remember your name.
Right. Absolutely. And that's going to be the whole thing. We're going to actually talk about this later on. So we're going to talk about this part of it. We'll bring back up later on, because we have a certain speech to talk about later on in this episode. Yep. For sure. Luthen does look kind of tired at this point. He's kind of a little bit more drawn out, which is fine. We get to see more. We got to see a little bit more of the farming community that Brasso and everybody's on. See that they're Brasso, Bix. They're all there on this little farming community. It looks like they're having a good time.
Moon, apparently, as it's called.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and it looks pretty good. It looks like they're having a nice time. And then, of course, an Imperial shuttle arrives, and you're like,
they're all gonna die.
So yeah, I think they're all.
Although, gonna die.
If anything happens to Brasso, I swear to God, I'm going to kick Tony Gloria's ass.
I will join you.
Brasso needs to live. Brasso needs to be on Andor. He needs to be
Brasso and B2.
Yeah, exactly.
Bro, what if it turns out that the old man that was at the Battle of Andor isn't Captain Rex? It's Brasso.
I did think that, because the beard that Brasso has in season 2 so far, it's like that could actually be Brasso there. Nick said is Brasso there, absolutely.
Or it's Mosk.
Or Mosk, yep, that's right. It could be Mosk. I could see it happening. Right? No, of course not. That's the other bad news about the trailer. There was no Mosk sighting, unfortunately. I know. He already said he wasn't.
I think we're setting ourselves up for heartbreak all over again.
He already said he wasn't in it. But we still hold on to the hope, because rebellions are built on hope. Yeah. We get to see Krennic again a little bit more. He does have a line saying "Resistance is absurd," as he's confident in the Death Star. One cool bit of news, or one cool bit of thing that I'm looking forward to now when I'm seeing this, is Clea is in there, and she actually has a shot of her with a tear coming down. And it's very strong seeing that, because she has been the one who's been pretty much the most non-emotional person in the entire show.
Which we'll also bring up later.
Right, absolutely. She's been very chill. Not even chill, because she's been kind of cruel about it, but it's she's very hard, doesn't let emotions run her. She's logic, rational, all that good stuff. Mon Mothma, we get a lot of Mon Mothma in this trailer. There's a shot of her in the Senate, and I swear, Genevieve O'Reilly, I want to give her the Emmy just for that shot. She looked like she was in almost tears, but really horrified.
She gave it the speech, do you think?
I think it could be. I think it could be completely. There's one point she does have a line later on. Obviously, they had the line again that they had about we have to stand together or we'll be crushed. That's in there again. I don't know who. I think she's talking to. Luthen there, possibly. I don't know. Also, though, later on there is a scene of her in the Senate, and she's actually saying a line: "The monster will come for us all." So that seems like that's the speech we're gonna get. That seems like the speech. I don't know if those shots were from the same moment or like she learned about something.
Do we see who she's talking to?
You see it on her. It's on her. Oh, there is a shot of her looking forward, and like whoever's in the center is like really far away though, so you can't really pick it out. I thought it was Masameda, I think, but I'm not sure.
Okay. Slime up.
Could be. But it looks like the Gorman Massacre is going to be kicking ass at this point. That's going to be, again, we already knew that was going to happen. So obviously it's going to have a big play in it. We do get to see more with the wedding, most likely wedding, I should say, because Tony wanted to say that he wasn't confirming it was happening in season 2, but it's pretty obvious what that is at this point.
Okay.
Get a little bit of Cyril Karn, has one line in the dialogue. Looks like he's back at his old dead-end job, just saying, "There's a future here for those who dare." Okay. A lot of quick shots. And finally, there is the famous one that's kind of made it, even you heard about. And that's Dedra Meero.
Yeah. How about this?
Loosening her neck or her collar. Some people thought that she looked like she was potentially being force choked. I didn't see that. I mean, when you pointed out, like, it's kind of, I was like, oh, people like, well, Star Wars fans are going to look at that and see she's getting force choked. I didn't, honestly. And when you pointed out, I go, oh, yeah, I mean, I could definitely see how you would think that. But I guess I'm just so of the mindset that there's no way we're getting Vader in the show. Like, this, Tony Gilroy is very much trying to keep this away from the original trilogy, connecting to it only in ways that made sense to the storyline. So I don't think Vader's appearing. I don't think Palpatine is really going to appear. Palpatine's
Star Killer.
Star Killer. No way. No way. No chance in hell.
Not while George Lucas still draws breath.
Exactly. But I think it was more like, I honestly look at it, I thought it was more of a panic attack than I thought she kind of is getting to the point where she doesn't know what's going on.
From what I saw, it looks like, because she's not looking like directly. If whenever you see someone get force choked, they're like looking directly on. They're like, ugh. It looked like she's like the pressure's getting to. And notice in the first season, she's taking a lot of pills.
Yeah. I think we're going to learn more about that at this point. I think she's just a little over anxious. I think somebody's got to the point. It might be the point where I don't want to say it's I'm not going to say it's a redemption because she's not going to be redeemed or whatever, but I think it might go to, like, Gorman Massacre might be too much for her kind of thing. Something might go too far and she's kind of like, maybe I'm in over my head at this point. I don't know what's going on.
Well, as we saw in the arc we're about to discuss, she shit the bed on Ferrex.
Yeah, it's a good point. Good point.
She was trusted with this responsibility, and she shit the bed. Yeah. And now she's got to go back to the ISB and explain it.
Absolutely. That's pretty much it. There's a bunch of quick shots at the end. Some of the Rebellion characters are there, and get more with Cassian in the TIE fighter that he's stealing, which has been like basically that's been the biggest drop that's been in all of the media bits. Basically, is Cassian that TIE fighter. So that's about it. So I thought it was a good trailer, solid trailer. Music was good. It wasn't the rock and roll music. It was the more classic Star Wars music. Like your Miles may vary on that, I know. But yeah, so that's how we're gonna go with there.
As we said, I'm fine with good music. Just pick a good song.
It's fair. All right, let's move on now to our main topic today. We're talking about, of course, the Ahsoka Andor Season 1, Episodes 10, 11, and 12. Let's get into it. We always do this on this channel by going through by category. We name a lot of categories, and then we go through that way. Then we kind of catch up afterwards if we missed anything that didn't really fit into a category. Find it's a better way to organize it. Our first category usually is Hondo Watch. We have temporarily suspended that until Andor Season 2 is over. We've replaced Hondo Watch temporarily, mind you, temporarily. He's still in our logo. He's still our patron saint. But we have a worthy substitution. That is Mosk Watch. Sergeant Linus Mosk. Can you imagine if we got a Hondo and Linus Mosk story together?
Holy shit.
Like, because at the end of this season,
it's a Hondo story. It's like a Hondo like book or a comic, and like Mosk has been like, he's like slightly higher in rank, and he has to like, he's the cop that tries to like bring down Hondo.
See, I got it better. I got it better for you. This is better because at the end of Andor, he is down in the dirt. You leave him on Ferrex after the riot. He is like drunk. He's drunk as a skunk. I think he is hit rock bottom, and he
joins Hondo's crew.
He joins Hondo's crew.
Oh,
and he like,
my!
And you have Moss trying to do for Hondo and did for Cyril. Come on, that's the story right there.
That's the story. And then he has his own little redemption arc where he's like, being a pirate's wrong. You know, I'm going back to Morlana in the Morlana sector, and I'm going to be a corpo. The pirate's life ain't for me.
Yeah, I can see that after that. Absolutely, out of it. Sure.
And then, like, Hondo drops him off at the end, and then we get the end of, what was it, Fast 4, where the Rock's like, I'll give you a 24-hour head start.
Right. Oh my God, that's so perfect. Please make that happen. Anyway, Musk watched 2022 for this one. It is successful. He made his appearance in this arc. He was back in this arc, thank God. He had his moments for
Thank
sure.
Musk.
Thank Musk. Don't talk about too much of him because actually he made a moment of mine. So
he made a moment of mine too. So let's quickly.
There we go. We do have
let's skate over that one.
So let's go now to our next category: crew member of the week, favorite character of the week. Basically, of the week. But I should preface this by saying we are doing this in 3 episodes arc, so we're doing this over the arc instead of the episode because that's just how Andor is running. That's how we're going to do it for season 2. That's the only way we can do it for season 2 because we can't do categories for each episode or every. Holy Snokes would be 3 hours long. So let's go into this last arc, our favorite characters of the arc. Maddie, I'll let you go first.
I'm giving it to Bix this week.
Oh, wow. Not what I expected, but okay. Let me hear this.
She went through unspeakable torture of being forced to listen to Creed over and over and over. Yet she did not give Cassian up.
I'm just laughing at the Creed bit still.
That's got to be what was going on in those headphones. But you know what I mean? She went through like this unspeakable torture. Wow. She did she's not with Cassian or anything. She just obviously there's a romantic relationship there, but like she could have easily have just said, "Yeah, he's gone." Like I don't know where he is, but this is where I think he might be. Like she could have given him up, but she didn't. And she went through just unspeakable torture. And I don't think we rightfully give Brasso the credit he deserves for being the homie that we all want. But I don't think Bix gets the same. Brasso didn't have to go through what Bix went through. And she did not give Cassian up. So, and just the performance that Adriana puts in is
phenomenal. 100% phenomenal. And I'll say also, I want to give a shout out to the makeup crew and things like that. It takes a lot to make her look haggard. She is a beautiful, beautiful woman.
Even when she looks haggard, she still looks beautiful.
I know. I'm saying they did a good job, trying to make her look haggard and everything else pretty good. But
if anything, they did a terrible job because they're supposed to make her look like shit. Like she's just been through 7 circles of hell, but you still end up looking at her like, damn, she's beautiful.
I mean, that's just her shining through. I mean, it's like that's an unenviable task right there. But no, you're not wrong. She gave a great performance, phenomenal performance. I believed her 100% in the entire time. Wonderful performance. It's hard to say anything about. You can't say anything bad about it. It's just wonder. It's a beautifully tragic performance and powerful. But it does showcase her power of character. She does not give anybody up. She does not. She just stands her ground as best she can, even when she's terrified. It was a heartbreaking moment when Cass comes in and she's trying to get her to go, and she's like, "No, they're going to be angry." And it's like, "Oh fuck, man, she's broken.
I have a funny feeling I know who yours is going to be, so I just want to give my quick little aside. I vetoed Kino Loy because that goes without saying.
That's
the
fine.
one that gave me a really great reaction in this one was Edie Khan.
Oh, nice.
Just her little appearance of the door opening up and her just going, phone for you. And then just standing there, arms crossed, in a moment we're going to be talking about. And she's just standing there in the back. I was just like, I fucking hate this woman. She's so fucking good.
Yeah, she is. Oh, she is very good. She is very good. Funny thing, I actually wasn't going to pick Kino either. Although I should say that Kino was also phenomenal. We'll definitely say that Kino was.
Oh wait, so you didn't? I thought you were going to pick Kino.
No, I did not. I thought you were going to
pick
Kino.
Fuck yeah, let's talk about Kino.
Let's talk about Kino. Go ahead. I'll let you go. I'll let you go.
There is no more heartbreaking of a line in all of Star Wars than 3 words. I can't swim. This is a guy who, like, we've just spent the last 2-3 weeks like, dude, you're a dick. Like, fuck you, man. To the point where I'm even like, why Andy Serkis? Why did you take this role? Now I know why Andy Serkis took this role, because of the speech that he gives in the sector where they actually manage to break out and they hold literally 2, not even guards, people hostage. And you have Cassian there who's essentially doing what Luthen and everyone is doing for him. He's pushing Kino to be the leader at that point.
Right. Absolutely.
And then Kino just gives that speech and you're like, fuck yes.
So good.
Then it gets to the point where you think they're going to break out and the guy can't swim. I posted a video the week this episode came out. I put that scene to Celine Dion's My Heart Will Go On.
Oh my God.
10 times more tragic.
Yeah, I can't even imagine. I don't want to think about that, to be honest with you. Oh God.
Kino Lloyd wouldn't have been able to get off the Titanic, PLD.
Make room on the door for Kino. Make room on the door.
Don't. Brandon has already debunked that to me once. I don't want him because I know he watches us, so I don't want him doing it twice.
That's fair. I just busted balls. No, but you're absolutely right. He goes to the whole. He is phenomenal when it comes to any sort of performance. He showcases that guy who comes off as an asshole in the beginning, comes off as real prick. But at the same time, as the show or as his arc develops, you see that it's more about this is a man who just doesn't have a life. This is his life, and this is the only thing he can control. Mm-hmm. The only thing he can control in his life is this floor and his men. So he takes great pride in that. He wants to make sure that that is done right. And he almost wants to protect them and protect him and protect them. Like, as far as like, this is what's got to be done. We can't change anything. Let's make us the best thing we can do. But as things start to unfold and unravel, he starts having shaken faith. And you see it in his eyes. And he almost loses it and like tries to overcompensate by like he's losing that control. All of a sudden, this is out of his control at this point. But when it gets to a certain point where he gets tipped over the edge, he has that moment we talked about last week, which is one of our great lines of last week. There were more than 12. But even after that, he's still the next episode, which we're going to talk about shortly. I mean, he comes in this first episode. He's still kind of like, you're crazy. I don't know. We can't. He's like all sorts of like, I don't know what to do. But he comes back to it. But eventually he does. And even when he's giving the speech, he doesn't quite know. He's like, this is all out of his comfort zone. He
needs Cassian to push him.
And when he gets that push, though, he does have that heart in that ground. And you're right. When he finally gets it together and gets him going, and he has the heartbreaking moment, you're like, oh, God, you poor son of a bitch. But you know what? We left on a cliffhanger. We don't know if he got out. He could have still jumped over. Somebody could have helped.
Well, he's in this season, isn't he? He's confirmed that he's going to be in season 2. Yeah.
Oh, is he? I didn't know that, actually.
Yeah, he confirmed that he's going to be in season 2.
Oh, well then, thank God.
Which leads to my force it's related to my force vision.
Okay, that's fair. Okay, all right. We'll also talk about a couple other quick ones then. I will say Luthen also as well, but I'm gonna just talk about it because it's mainly the speech. To be completely honest with you, and we're gonna talk about that for sure in a couple of minutes.
Yeah.
But the one last one I will shout out specifically also for this arc is Brasso.
Fuck yeah.
The riot is all Brasso. I just look at it and go, holy shit!
What happens when you touch that little red droid, man?
Anger in his soul, like he's the guy who is such. He is. I kind of actually feel. I want to call myself Brasso, even though I don't want to like make myself be that good of a guy.
You have some Brasso tendencies,
but like, as someone who tends to like not get angry, to kind of like be a loyal person who tends to be like very low key. I'll help you out. I'm not gonna rock the boat. I don't get angry easy. You're not gonna like. I'm just like even keel. But then it gets to the point where I get really angry, and then I like to hit somebody in the face with a brick, as it were. And that's what Brasso is. He's that loyal guy, and he gets pushed over the edge like everybody does. He gets rallied by a great Marva speech and a terribly incompetent Imperial commander who does not know how to control a crowd, and goes ape shit and is going about to kick some ass. And I love that about him. And he performs it so well. He does a lot of facial acting. Doesn't have a lot of lines of dialogue. He's not a dialogue guy. He's not many words, but he has that scene. You can see that fire in his eyes, that fire in his belly. And I think one of the great shots of Andor, and one of the like, you want to sum up Andor in one still, it's him with the brick screaming.
Yeah,
that's Andor for me.
And like that Cassian couldn't have been there. Like, there's no way that he could have like broken out of jail in time to get there. But him being the leader of the procession is fucking heartbreaking.
Yeah, he has to replace Cassian.
Yeah, he's carrying Cassian. He probably did the same when Cassian's dad died. He was probably there when that happened. And now he's seeing Cassian's mom die. Not only that, he's carrying the brick that holds her ashes for Cassian because Cassian's not there. He doesn't know that. He doesn't know that Cassian's in jail.
Right,
but he's doing it anyway.
Yes, absolutely. He is so loyal. He's going to help out Marva to the end. He's there with her. He helps out. He has those great sweet moments with B2 Emo. It's a fucking...
Oh, that.
Okay.
That is
okay.
that moment I'm going to bring
I
up.
I will. I mean, but it's like, he's great. So basically, he's great with the animals, basically what you're doing there. That's what it is. And he's like, but he does. If anybody is going to step up, he's going to step up. He's going to be Brasso. He's going to step up, be loyal, be everything else. I love the guy. I love the guy wholeheartedly. And he showcased what a good, and he has those great moments. That's why I wanted to make sure he gets that. And yeah, he definitely gets it. So
100%. Tony Gilroy, I swear to fucking God, if you do anything to Brasso,
you're fired.
You're fired out of a fucking cannon.
Yes, that's what I meant by that. Yeah. He's already not going to be working there anymore. He's already done, so he's fired out of cannon. All right, next up, this might be a long one because the lines I picked were just long lines. Favorite lines of dialogue in this week. We call this category I Spec. We had some great lines of dialogue. I'm going to start with one line, although we might be here for 5 minutes to read the entire line.
I've got some quite shorter ones. Do you want me to go first? So
I think we got it. I think we intersperse them because I have a couple of long ones.
Okay, let's go.
So we're going to start with the first one. Kindness, kinship, love. I've given up all chance at inner peace. I made my mind a sunless space.
Go a little bit lower. You've almost got Stellan Skarsgård, but like go a little bit lower in the voice.
I share my dream with ghosts.
There we go. A little bit more Danish.
To the equation I wrote 15 years ago, when there's only one conclusion. I'm down for what I do. My anger, my ego, my unwillingness to yield. My eagerness to fight. They've set me on a path from which there is no escape. I yearn to be a savior against injustice without contemplating the cost. By the time I looked down, there was no longer any ground beneath my feet. What is my sacrifice? Condemned to use the tools of my enemy to defeat them. I burn my decency for someone else's future. I burn my life to make a sunrise that I know I'll never see. And the ego that started this fight will never have a mirror or an audience or the light of gratitude. So what do I sacrifice? Everything. You'll stay with me, Lonnie. I need all the heroes I can get.
He's so fucking good.
Oh my God, Stellan Skarsgård, give me an Emmy. That's an Emmy award-winning speech right there. Holy shit, that's an Emmy award-winning speech.
So fucking good. And I know Ken, our dear friend Ken Knapsack, I know it doesn't sit with him as well as it does with us. So Ken, I know you listen. I'm sorry to wax poetic about this monologue. Holy fuck, that is a great performance. That is cinema. That is
cinema, acting, Star Wars, and that's why I'll say it again. We started saying it since Skeleton Crew and Jude Law. Get these name actors like that, proven actors to play these parts, because motherfucker, like they're good actors for a reason. I'm not saying unknowns can't give good performances. I'm not saying that, but these are tried and true performers, and they can escape into these roles, and they can give you performances like that. It helps. It definitely helps that Andor is probably, I had to say it, especially dialogue wise, the best written show we've got in Star Wars. Like purely dialogue wise. I know it's not. Some people have like it's not their cup of tea Star Wars wise. I get the Star Wars super parts. It's not the swaggering adventure. It's not like the pulpy Mandalorian stuff. And it's not like the other shows have badly written stuff, but like this is just a very well, like specific dialogue lines of dialogue. Yeah, it's wonderful. And get those actors to perform those lines of dialogue, you get cinema. And that's what you got here. So
I don't toot my own horn a lot about a lot of things. I am a pretty fucking good lyricist. It would take it took something like this for me to take a line from somebody else and put it in one of my songs.
100%.
Which I have done. So I probably owe Stellan Skarsgård. I probably owe Tony Gilroy a writing credit on the new Warner EP, but
don't say anything. I think it's okay.
But yeah, it's oh my God. I never expected that from any show, let alone a Star Wars show. That level of I get chills. I watched it literally last night, and I still get chills like thinking about it, talking about it. And I've heard it a million times because we're going to be walking on stage show it this summer. So every rehearsal, every week, I hear that fucking quote, and it still gives me goosebumps.
Amps shop, absolutely. That was not even a great performance by me, just so you know. I wish I could actually wish I could sit back and actually perform that in dialogue. I would just be reading it in a Stellan Skarsgård voice.
Go back to your college years when
absolutely. I'll let you hit one of those smaller quotes now.
Scoff the Empire.
Nice.
Scott from Dewey, from either Dewey or Freedy, I can't remember which one, but just off the Empire. Like we got shit in the third episode. Just line as much as saying shit.
Yep.
Now we have like random words like scoff the Empire.
Scoff the Empire.
We obviously know we were supposed to get fuck the Empire.
Yes.
We didn't. We got scoff the Empire.
Close enough. Close enough. We get it. That is a good one. That's a good one.
Another little one that I wanted to point out. It actually comes from Vel, where she says, "I gave him Aldani. What have you done for him lately?"
Yes. And Clay's response.
And it's just like the balls.
Yeah.
This privileged little rich girl.
Yep.
Is actually like getting involved in the rebellion, and she's just like, "You're not gonna push me around. Like, I just robbed an Imperial facility for here. What have you done? You've been here inside this little trinket shop playing pretend."
Ben Clay's response is pretty good too, though. You know, I don't have the exact dialogue, and everybody just goes, "You have that? I have always, every day." Kind of like, okay, it's kind of nice, not bad response, but yeah, no, great. I love Val. You know, I love Val. I had a couple other little ones before I get to another big one. Kino Loy, is when he finally breaks a little bit.
Hmm.
No one is getting out.
Yep.
Exploding amongst the prisoners there. They're all have that hubbub going about what's going on. He declares it. He is the leader, so he makes it so. Brilliant piece of
and
work.
then that becomes One Way Out.
One Way Out. That's right.
Which is now, it's only happened once, but we've now had the running of the hoods. We now have the running of the Narkina 5 prisoners at Celebration, where they run through the convention center, all chanting "One Way Out, one way." It's a beautiful sight to see, and it coming from something like that is truly beautiful.
Let's do it. I'm going to do it right now. Let's do it. My name is Kino Loy, the day shift manager on level 5. I'm speaking to you from the command center on level 8. We are at this moment in control of the facility. How long we hang on?
Can I give you a bit of a direction note?
Yep.
You're a bit too gruff.
Yeah, too gruff.
Yeah, bring a little bit more Brit to it.
British. I'm not good at accents. I'll give you that. But how long we hang on?
Just try. Give me one take of each, and we'll figure it out. Go on.
How long we hang on? How far we get? How many of us make it out? All of that is now up to us. We have deactivated every floor in the facility. All floors are cold. Wherever you are right now, get up. Stop the work. Get out of your cells. Take charge and start climbing. They don't have enough guards, and they know it. If we wait until they figure that out, it'll be too late. We'll never have a better chance than this, and I would rather die trying to take them down than giving them what they want. We know they fried 100 men on level 2. We know that they are making up our sentences as we go along. We know that no one outside here knows what's happening.
This is awesome.
Now we know that when they say we are being released, we are being transferred to some other prison to go and die, and that ends today.
Oh, fucking hell.
There is one way out. Right now, the building is ours. You need to run, climb, kill. You need to help each other. You see someone who's confused, someone who is lost, you get them moving, and you keep them moving until we put this place behind us. There are 5,000 of us. If we can fight half as hard as we've been working, we'll be home in no time. One way out!
Bro, Kim's about to walk in that room and be like, what the fuck are you doing?
Kim is not here. That's why I was able to do that.
Okay. Bravo.
My son might come down. He's like, what's going on? My dog's like, what are you doing over there?
Bravo. Emmy-winning performance there from PLD.
Oh, from the great Andy Serkis. I love it so much. I love it so much. So powerful.
Truly one of the greatest actors of all time.
Okay.
I had to pull my headphones out because it was like right in my ears. I was like, Jesus.
Sorry for the volume, guys. That's true. Sorry for the volume.
Don't apologize. It was a very impassioned speech. You did well. You did well.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
You need to work on your Andy Serkis impression. If you'd have done it, now do it in the voice of Colin.
I can't do anymore.
That's one. We're all out.
I can't do Gollum. I can do that part about it. Oh my God. All right. We have one more big line dialogue, which I'll try to perform as well. But I'm gonna go this. I have a couple of small ones left. Do you have any other small ones left?
No, go for it. I think we've got all the big ones covered.
Okay. I do have one more small bits I wanted to say. I did like I can't remember. I always forget his name. Davos Caldo.
Davos Calden.
Davo, yeah. I liked his drop of discomfort, maybe the price of doing business.
Yep.
So
that fucking sleazeball.
Oh God, I did too. That and when Brazo tells Cassian what Marva's saying. I'll tell him I love him more than anything he could ever do wrong.
Oh God, I should have
so
mentioned that. Oh yeah, that fucking crushed me.
got me. All right, the last one. Let's see if I can do a Marva. I don't know.
Oh, don't do a Fiona Shaw.
Fiona Shaw. The name is Marva. I'm going to do it as a man, but I'll do the trend.
Do it as PLD. We can't do
my name is Marva
Shaw like that.
I actually won't even do the whole long one. I'm not going to do the whole bit. The whole speech is great. The whole speech is building. We have the music. I love, by the way, they use the Andor. They have like the marching band do the theme song in the beginning. Like it kind of like changes the episode a little bit.
Yeah, and they also do it in the major key as opposed to the minor.
Right.
The actual theme is in minor, and the marching band do it in major.
Yes, and she goes on the whole thing about how she's been in the beginning, but it gets to the end where it really hits home. It hits home, and he goes, "But I fear for you. We've been sleeping. We've had each other in Ferrex, our work, our days. We've had each other, and they left us alone. Kept the trade lane open, and they left us alone. We took their money and ignored them. We kept their engine churning, and the moment they pulled away, we forgot them because we had each other. We had Ferrex, but we were sleeping. I've been sleeping, and I've been turning away from the truth I've wanted not to face. There's a wound I won't hear at the seal of the center of the galaxy. There's darkness reaching like rust into everything around us. We let it grow. Now it's here. It's here, and it's not visiting anymore. It wants to say, the Empire is a disease that thrives in darkness. It's never more alive than when we were asleep. It is easy for the dead to tell you to fight, and maybe it's true. Maybe fighting is useless. Perhaps it's too late. But I'll tell you this. If I could do it again, I'd wake up early and be fighting those bastards from the start. Fight the Empire, which was supposed to be fuck the Empire, but Disney wouldn't allow it.
Isn't there a deleted scene or something where you actually hear her say fuck the Empire?
I know they recorded it that way. They definitely recorded it that way because they were working on trying to get Disney to say it. Because I know someone who was there at that day, one of the crowd who got to hear it, said that she definitely said fuck the Empire at that point. But then Disney wouldn't allow it. And you know what? Honestly, I'm okay with Disney not allowing it, to be honest. Fight the Empire is actually pretty good because it's actually more of an act. Instead of saying fuck the Empire, fight the Empire is what's needed. It's a revolution. You need to fight the Empire. So it actually makes even more sense. Fuck the Empire is like the cool thing, but like it's almost cool not to have Star Wars swear still in a way. Like, you know what I mean?
Coming from someone who's like as revered and respected as Fiona Shaw, I'm kind of like, I don't really want to hear her cuss.
Yeah. I'm okay with fight the Empire. I think it's a good thing it did. So, but what a great moment! Great, the music is swelling. He is just on fire throughout. I love it. I love it so much. So, yeah. All right. Anything else? You have any other lines? You good to go?
No, we're good to go. I think we can move on.
Put that in your holocron and Snoke and explore more lore. Or you take something from the arc and go, what do I want to learn more about this in the galaxy? Let me have a book on this, or a movie, or a comic book, or something. I have something. I only had one real in-depth thing I wanted to think about.
Yeah, go.
I want to know more about religion in Star Wars. Because all of our religion, because the Jedi are like religion adjacent.
You tell?
Religion is more like Jedi are like kind of like religion adjacent. It's almost like the replacement for religion because they're the spiritual ones. They're the but all the churches we had, it's been like Church of the Force and things like that. But we don't really hear much about like
the open hand.
Path the Open Hand. We don't really hear much about worshiping in Star Wars universe and how that affects, because that religion is a big part of like, you know, I won't say fascism, but fascism and like governments and stuff. That's government politics.
Well, you mean like organized religion?
Organized religion, like we get with the Chandrillans here, with Leia getting into that. Like, it's a Chandrillan custom, but it definitely seems like it's a religious custom. They have the whole speech with their friends, and Vel's like, "You're not what's going on here?" There's like, no, she's doing this on her own. But Leia's a very religious person, and it's leading to this religious marriage. But like, it just made me think about like, well, what is religion like in the Star Wars universe? In this universe, when it does not involve the Force or the Jedi or whatever, is there a deity? Is there a set of deities? Is there just every planet have their own deities? Like, I kind of feel like that's like it's an underdeveloped thing that we could kind of look into. Or whatever.
We've seen like in the episodes of Clone Wars and Rebels and stuff, like various planets have had their own like belief systems, and I think most of it revolves around the Force. But you've had like other planets that have believed it's a deity or something. Right. So yeah, there could be more to it. Yeah.
I would say, like, is there like a religion that's big enough like that? Because like Star Wars is obviously has some imperialistic things with it, as far as like some of the Catholic religion is spread around this world, or is not like. Is there a galaxy-wide religion like that is that big? I mean,
I think that would probably be the Jedi, right?
Probably be part of it. But what now that the Jedi are no longer? Is there one that has like filled its spot? Is there something before the Jedi? The Jedi are an offshoot of that religion at some point. Is there like, you know what I mean? Like there's a lot of different potential possibilities that are like out there that I think we just haven't really seen. And not necessarily that it's like has to be, but I just think it'd be an interesting way to tackle some storylines and everything else. Be to say, I don't know. How about you?
I want to know more about the Daughters of Ferrix.
Yes, that's a good choice. That's a good solid
what
choice.
Were they like the community watch? Were they like a secret society? What? Who are the Daughters of Ferrix? Obviously, we see them. We see the Daughters of Ferrix for Marva's procession and Marva's funeral. But what do they do?
Yeah, 100%. I get that. That's a good call because like they're a social club. I assume it's kind of like, you know, the Knights of Columbus. Would you
and they're also a great podcast too.
Yeah,
there's a podcast called Daughters of Ferrix.
There is, yes.
Yeah, they are very great. But yeah, I'm just like, what is their role in the society of
Ferrix in general? Yeah, how like what are they? Because they feel like they have a lot of power. As far as Ferrix goes, obviously, all kowtowed under the Empire, of course, obviously. But yeah, the Daughters of Ferrix is definitely an interesting role. Like, is it a governmental thing? Is it just it's a social club? That's what they say. It's a social club, but you know, social clubs get into politics all the time, so it could be something that has to do with that as well. Is there a military side to it? Is it all peaceful? Is it all like it's very interesting points for sure?
Or is it just a bunch of dear old ladies getting together on a Sunday afternoon?
Could be. But either way, it'd be definitely something to explore more Laura for sure. I like that. So, anything else you want to bring up here, or
no? Can I put in a little Force Vision though?
Yeah, you can. You have some other stuff. Yeah, we can go. You want to do Force Vision?
Actually, no. We'll save.
Okay. Next up, seen a lot of action. Our favorite action beats of the episode of the arcs, and like we laugh because like our last 3 episodes we did had very little action. And this has like 3 big pieces of action that we can talk about, obviously, and those are the big 3 pieces. I mean, we got the riot, we got the breakout, and even like the smaller but cool Luthen and the Fondor getting away from Saw Gerrera there, which is kind of cool.
Sick.
That was one of my favorites. The swing laser beams going out the side.
Yep.
That was cool. Where did ships get that?
I remember when that came out, everyone was like, has he got giant lightsabers on his ship? Like, are those made of, is that what, are they made of kybers? Like, no, he's just got like 2 big laser beams.
There's not blasts or like, it's like a true laser. Like
it's like a concentrated beam.
It doesn't like blast. Yeah, so that's what's cool about it. Like, I wanted him to say, like, I feel like that's it's almost an overpowered weapon. It's like, because you could do almost too much of that. But if it's like a one-time thing, a one-shot, that's what it should be. I don't know if that's the case, but like he charges.
I think he uses up a lot of his ship's power.
Yeah, that's what I think it is too, and that's what's cool about it. Though, if it was done that way, I think it's like a great thing. I'd like to see it like happen again at some point, and use it again potentially. Maybe we'll see it in season 2. I hope we do at some point.
So
that was cool. But the other 2, of course, the other big action bits. I mean, the breakout, for example, all of it was just phenomenal. From the beginning of like the floor being wet and the floor shocking out to them like getting on the tables, them throwing shit. But when they got the blasters, that really felt like Star Wars at that point. Like it felt like the rebels in like a base against stormtroopers with laser gun. That felt like more like the Star Wars thing than any of the Disney Plus shows we got so far. It's got like this great like old school moment right there with them blasting the hell out of the stormtroopers and everything else. But the guards hiding was my favorite part about that.
Yeah, the guards like huddled against the door, just like shit. Because you realize there's barely any of them in there.
The skeleton crew, not the show, but it's a skeleton crew.
They're running a skeleton crew, and even from the moment that Cassian jams the rod into the lift, these guys, they're fucked because they just start shooting in all the wrong directions. These guys are probably just paid to be there to look and act intimidating, but they've probably had like no actual military experience or police experience. 100%. These are just guys that have signed on to be like most cops that I've been around. Just all talk.
They don't have any power there for sure. I think they're just used. They're not used to. They're used to being able to only 1-on-1 or 2-on-1, 3-on-1 kind of thing. All of a sudden they have everybody rushing at them, and they don't have their fallback at this point. So yeah, it's tough for them at this point. Yeah, no, but it's great power. It's great, powerful moment, energy, all good stuff. So, and then the riot, of course. I mean, I already mentioned before, Brasso smacking him in the face with the old Brit with Marva, using Marva as a weapon, which I kind of found funny, and like it's like, is it disrespectful? No, Marva would have loved it. I think Marva was like okay with it.
I was worried that he was gonna break it.
I was too. I was like, oh, is that what happens then? But Marva remains unbroken.
I just love that the final tipping point for the riot was them kicking over B2. Because I would have jumped over, like Brasso would have had to have beaten me to that guy.
I know.
But there's one scene in the riot. There's action. It's my absolute favorite moment of action in this whole show. It's the timekeeper push kicking the stormtrooper off of the tower.
I had to tell you something. That's actually one of my humor moments of the week.
Okay, for me, we'll talk about it because him just giving him the "this is Sparta" push kicking him off the fucking thing.
I don't know why, but I just laughed at it so much. I was like, I don't know why. It's like not like a funny moment, but like
the
it's
only
just
thing
so
that
awesome.
would have made it better is if they put the Wilhelm scream in there.
Yeah, that would have worked. That would have been the place for it to go.
Because they didn't in this, and I was thinking, I was like, that's the perfect moment to put it in.
But man, that guy this is Sparta him all over the place, and that was phenomenal.
I fucking hope we see the time grappler in season 2.
I do too.
I hope he's in the community.
Do we see Ferrix? I can't remember if we see Ferrix or not. I think about
we see a plan that looks kind of like Ferrix because they have the demolition or the construction vehicle looking thing.
Yeah, it could be Ferrix, potentially, I guess. Yeah, I don't know. I hope so too, though, because he was a very much an unsung hero for sure. But yeah, I did love that. Was one of my favorite action bits as well. I also liked Dedra getting hit and Cyril coming to her rescue as the incel he is. Very much.
And they have the 7 minutes of heaven in the closet. Yeah,
in the closet there. Yep, absolutely. I like Senta killing the Imperial guy, the Imperial spy.
Yeah,
bring him into the thing with the knife. That was a good touch. That was a good touch for sure. Yeah, there's a lot of cool. There's a lot of very much of coolness throughout the entire episode in that arc. Great action bits for sure. Yeah, powerful stuff. The explosions were also really well done. Like the big explosion that took place, it wasn't a Star Wars explosion. It kind of took its time, gave it weight, and like the windows are blown in on our guy Nurchi there, Nurchi, the big black guy who was turning Andor in.
Oh yeah.
I think it's Nurchi was his name, I think. And also Bix's prison cell. All the windows came in there like that. It felt like real terrorist bombing in a way, which is like, I love how this show really kind of like it shows that the rebellions are almost what are basically kind of terrorists in a way, like in a way, like it's kind of it's rebellion. It's that fine line between rebellion and terrorism, but like this is how this is viewed by people who are on the other side, kind of things. So it's kind of it makes you stop and think about things at times. But
I mean, you go young Willman just running headlong in there with a homemade pipe bomb.
Yep.
You got to think that Tony Gilroy done his research into the Irish protests and everything that was going on at that time.
100%. So a lot of good action bits there. Any other ones you specifically had?
No, not really. They mentioned the Sparta kick. That was the best one. B2 being tipped over, Brasso with the brick.
Yeah.
Just, I will say, this show did a really good job of making stormtroopers terrifying again.
Yes, 100%.
Because when that loser Imperial commander just yells "open fire," you're like, "Oh fuck!" All these people they're there for a funeral. They're not going to be packing weapons on them,
right?
So it's just like they're defenseless. They're helpless.
100%. It's powerful.
Even against stormtroopers, they're sitting ducks.
Stormtroopers and TIE fighters are just scary again in Andor, and rightfully so. It makes it good that way. So I like it better that way because it kind of like becomes a point where like they're cannon fodder. That's one thing. Like for example, like I just mentioned before, I love Rebels. That's what Rebels did poorly in a way. Not poorly, but and Rebels stormtroopers are goofy. Usually, they're usually pretty easily beaten. TIE fighters are kind of like a dime a dozen and stuff. And it's good for the. I mean, it's fine for that show what it is, right? But it's really about how this makes you feel about them. Is kind of in a way cooler, like scarier. Makes the oppression more real. Makes the Empire more real in a way for me. But good stuff for sure. All right, anything else? You're gonna go on to the next bit?
No, we can move on.
Laugh it up, Fuzzball. Our favorite comic moments of the week. Didn't have a whole lot of aha moments.
I got one.
I got two I can mention, but go ahead. Go yours first.
I love Dewey and Freedy, man.
You and Freedy are one of mine as well. Well-needed spot of humor. I mean, episodes 10, episodes 12 are both pretty much tragedy the entire time.
What the hell is Squiggly Wigglies? That's my Explore More lore. What the fuck is Squiggly Wigglies?
I think some kind of fish. I don't know. I don't know what's going on with that at this point.
Are they the little like worm things that Chandrillans put in their drinks?
Maybe. That could be. The best part about the aliens, the best part about them is when Andor and Melshi are running for the quad jumper, and you still don't look. They look and go, like, what the fuck are you doing? And the nets come out and they're like,
the net there.
Yeah, got it.
They're just not worried. And at first they're like, yeah, we can get 1,000 credits ahead for anyone that we turn in. But then they're like, oh, we fucking scoff the Empire.
Right?
We'll help you guys.
We'll take you, right? Sure, why not?
And this is where I'm going to lead into my force bit. I'm going to jump ahead real quick and go into my force vision.
Do it up.
I think I know how Kino Loy survives. I think Dewey and Freedy are on their way back to go back to fishing, and Kino Loy just washes ashore.
And they bring him back to life.
And Dewey and Freedy and Kino Loy, all three join the rebellion together.
Dewey and Freedy pull like a Ned Harris from the Abyss, like slapping the hell out of Kino Loy.
Yes. Yes.
There's only one way back to life.
And then they end up as X-Wing pilots in the rebellion.
Oh god, I love it. Can they fit in an X-Wing? I don't know if they could fit in
I think they could.
Man, they're pretty big.
But I definitely think that it's going to turn out that Dewey and Freedy save
the day.
Save Kino Loy.
That'd be great. That would be phenomenal. I would love that. I would absolutely love that. So cool. The only other one.
Also, the one that got a big reaction out of me. It didn't really. B2 just saying, "Will you stay to Brasso?" Almost as heartbreaking as it was funny, because it's like your dog just coming up to you and going like, it's like you're going out for 5 minutes. Like you're leaving the house for 5 minutes and your dog just looks at you like, oh, you're going? Breaks my heart every time. But like, even if I walk across the street to go to the store, my dog looks at me like, please stay. I looked for B2 in that moment and I found it funny. But at the same time, it was heartbreaking. And then we get on to the other big comedy moment, which I'm sure we're going to talk about.
Go ahead.
The phone call between Cyril and Musk. The fact that Musk still calls him sir, even though he's like he talks to him like he's still his superior, even though he's not even with the Milana Corps anymore. He starts with like, apologies for the lateness, sir, and to the family. With Edie standing over his shoulder.
So funny. Oh my god. So good. Oh. Yes. I mean, you can't hear him. He's like, I need to know. Yes.
There's no way he could hear anything.
No, not at all. Not at all. I love it, like, because the whatever they're doing in the factory behind them, he's like, oh, it's stopping now. We should have a chance to be able to talk. And he goes on about like being able to have a chance to talk. Like, so what about this? And also start talking again. He's like, oh, you're like, you just missed your fucking opportunity. You complete moron. I love you for it, but there's just so funny. Yes. So good. So good.
Fucking hell, he's so good.
Yeah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. I actually had another minor bit of Kino, not Kino, of Musk, and I don't even know why this made me laugh, but it made me chuckle when they're sitting on Cyril and Cyril and Musk get back together on the transport, and like Musk just gives him his hat. They switch hats.
It's almost like the swapping of the jerseys after a game. He just gives him his hat, and the moment right at the end, after the riot, where he just slumps down, and he's just like, fuck.
Fuck yeah. Oh, it's so good. It is so good. I love it so much.
Please bring him back.
I hopefully do somewhere.
You see everything going on right now with the fans demanding a second season of The Acolyte. There needs to be as much further for Musk to come back.
Please, God, please make it work. My God. Anyway, all right. Next up, we have this is it. Actually, that's about it. Parsecs we get to rate the episodes now on a scale of 1 to 11. Because we always turn things up to 11 here on PLD Projects. What do we rank the episodes out of each episode? Episode 10. What did you give it?
11.
I also gave it an 11. Perfect 11. I'm going to jump ahead here. Episode 12.
11.
11. I thought that was the easier one. We're going to do 10 and 12. Both going to be 11s for both of us because they're phenomenal episodes. I knew that was going to be the case. Episode, the one in between, the 11 one.
I'll give it a 10.
Ironically, you're not going to give 11 an 11. I gave that one about a 9.5. But yes.
It was a bit like a bring it back down to bring it back up. You
had to have a breath of fresh air from the Narkina arc into the final riot. And that was a lot of moving the pieces around to get them into the final spot, so to speak. But it was still very good. It's just that's not the height of the other two. That's its only fault is the fact that it doesn't have like the amazing bits that the episodes 10, episodes 12 have. It's still fun, very entertaining. So there we go, my friend. We have finished it. We have finished the Andor rewatch. I liked it even more this time around. I think I'll like it even more the next time I rewatch it. So I'm very happy to say I'm very happy to have done this for sure. And I cannot wait for Andor season 2 now. So yeah, I love it, man. I love it. And I think that's it for us. And we'll come back next week and we'll cover Rogue One. We'll do a rewatch of Rogue One, the before, and talk about some news bits there. And I won't do any other speeches, I promise. Maybe I'll do a soft speech for you, depending on how it goes.
If you can do the speech of him just before he dies, that would be well.
That's what I might do.
Oh God, I love that. I have a reason to watch that scene, not once but twice.
I know.
You know the shit-eating grin that is on my face when I can't wait to talk about that scene. I can't. We could do like a whole hour just on that scene.
Let's see.
Wait.
All right, Matt, where can the folks find you?
You can find me on all social media at Matty Morner. You can find my band Morner on all streaming platforms. You can find me here every week for Holy Snokes, a Star Wars podcast, and every month for Class Action. We just did our, really, really fun episode on Crimson Tide versus Enemy of the State.
Absolutely.
The amateur versus, I believe, the accountant. Did we decide on?
We didn't decide to say what we're going to do yet on that one, so we'll have to see.
So go back and watch Crimson Tide versus Enemy of the State. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And
absolutely will. I think maybe do Law-Abiding Citizen, maybe. I don't know. We'll figure it out. We'll talk more.
Where can people find you?
Apologies for to do so on Blue Sky. That's where I like to hang out. You can find me all over this channel. Obviously, I do aforementioned Class Action, Holy Snokes every week, review every other week. Our podcast about V with Lego. I do my Crown Jewels Queen podcast every week, and I actually that's from my sister's YouTube channel. I actually started that YouTube channel first before I made this channel. That one's actually got 1,000 subscribers now. I'm actually proud to say for my Queen channel. So it's got more than actually this channel does at this point. So we're going to try to get this one up to 1,000. We're at about 780, I think, or 89, 789, maybe 790 now. So welcome you back to that. Appreciate everybody subbing and everybody who likes and comments and all that kind of stuff. We really do appreciate you. It helps fight the evil algorithm. We also do 2 Merely Age Geeks on Film. That's what me and PJ do every other week as well. We do have a Patreon exclusive. If you join us at patreon.com/PLD Projects, or you join the YouTube membership, you get the early editions of 2 Merely Age Geeks on Film. Right now, we're doing the MCU Rewatch, which you won't see on the main channel until about December, so about 6 months or so, 7 months away. And regularly, we're doing Superman right now, which is kind of a cool time for us to do Superman. Doing Superman 2 next week. Superman 2, the Richard Donner cut is what we're covering. Yeah, so that's what we do, man. That's what we do. Join the Patreon if you can. If you can't, I understand. Totally understand. But like, subscribe, comment, all that stuff. And that'll do it for us this week, folks. We'll see you next week. Rogue One. That's Maddie. I'm PLD.
May the Force be with you always.